Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some huge Age of Mythology news. So, there's a new trailer first off for the Immortal Pillars DLC, and we have a confirmed release date for the 4th of March. Go ahead and take a look at the trailer itself.
All must find peace with the mandate of heaven. But for Huang Zhaowu to defy fate is better than to submit.
You will now witness my might.
I come with Shen Nong's chosen, Yan Fei Feng.
The western pillar that holds the heavens.
Huang Zhaowu has destroyed the first of the 4 pillars, threatening all of reality. He cannot be allowed to destroy the others. We must hurry.
How can we defeat a god? You must allow Nuwa to repair the pillars of heaven.
I will drive you from this place.
Bow to your new emperor.
Okay, so I think that makes it clear that we're gonna have a super beautifully crafted civilization with beautiful units, environment art, and apparently a pretty fancy campaign with some really cool cinematic shots in there. So yeah, really looking forward to trying this out. Okay, looks like the developers also have released a little bit of a Chinese faction overview, so let's take a look. Really pretty, by the way, as I pointed out before. The new Chinese excel at expansion, constructing magnificent cities across the map. Each building extends favored land, generating favor and granting powerful bonuses based on the chosen god. The larger the empire, the more divinely powerful the Chinese become. 2 worker types fuel this growth, the peasant and the Kuafu. Peasants are less efficient than other cultures' villagers, but are supported by the Kuafu, powerful giants who excel at constructing buildings. Military buildings can be enhanced with towers or training yards, providing defensive or offensive advantages. While lacking early cavalry, China excels at siege with powerful Chukanu and siege weapons from the machine workshop. Each town center can also summon terracotta riders, ones for emergency defense. Chinese heroes are trained at the Imperial Academy. Pioneers scout and deploy sky lanterns. Sages are much stronger and can heal allies and charm enemies. At the peak are legendary demigod heroes, unique to each god, who possess devastating abilities. Okay, that sounds super interesting, especially base building will be essentially a slow creep or trying to connect your bases together to maximize your favored land, I'm guessing. What does it mean that they'll be more divinely powerful? I'm guessing this is just about favor generation, right? Like you get more god power casts and make myth units and get your mythic upgrades. That's what it's got to mean. I'm really interested in the double villager system as well. It's kind of like Norse, with the dwarves kind of subsidizing a little bit of the gatherers, but there are disadvantages here to the normal villagers. So I'm guessing the Kuafu will have some kind of limitations or limited by cost or population, whatever it's going to be. Or maybe even limited numbers overall. Then not having much cavalry is interesting because China historically is pretty good with cavalry, so I'm gonna be really curious as to how that's gonna work. I guess they do specify they lack early cavalry, so there will be infantry peasants, and then as you age up, I guess they get more cav. I'm be curious about what kind of siege they do. I really hope it's not just anti-building siege. Like I do hope they get something ballista-like at some point. The terracotta riders sound a little bit like mercenaries, but like a one-off. It's really interesting. This is not like god powers or anything like that, I'm guessing. Just a one-off ability for the building. The building abilities is something I think that AOM doesn't feature enough, so this could open the gates for future contents to get a little bit into building abilities. That could be really cool. Sky lanterns, that should be really good for you know, keeping vision over the map. Like Chinese now have Pegasus there. There, I guess that's what this is. Then we've got sages, which are basically the tail of the dragon monks, where they can heal, fight, and convert enemies. I'm guessing they're supposed to be strong. They say they are strong. So maybe they're not gonna be pure melee or something like that. But basically a reworked Tail of the Dragon monk is what I expect from that. And then demigod heroes, which should be extremely cool because think Greek mythic age heroes is what I'm guessing. Devastating abilities. I'm looking forward to that. All right, then here we go with the three gods. It's Tail of the Dragon. In terms of what the god picks are, very beautiful art though. And just taking a close look at that, I don't think there's any hints of AI in this. It's just looking very clean and nice. Yeah, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. This is beautiful. Fuxi is one of the three divine sovereigns in ancient Chinese mythology. His kingdom is centered in the modern-day Renju Temple, where he is still celebrated today. Focus is human soldiers and heroes. His god power is the Peach Blossom Spring. Target a location to create Peach Blossom Spring, whose resource stockpile grows over time. The Peach Blossom Spring's resources are gathered very quickly, but the stockpile stops growing once a villager starts gathering from it. Okay, so you've got this huge commitment of, do I touch it? If you do, that's it. What you see is what you get. But if you are patient, it's kind of like a herdable animal that if you kill it, then yeah, it's not gonna fatten anymore. Now, I'm curious if there's a limit to this, because this is pretty cool, and I really wonder if it's just food that it gives, or will it be something else as well? Because, I mean, it sounds like it could do wood. That's what I'm guessing at least. God Blessing, Yin and Yang. Fuxi grants alternating bonuses, which swap every 4 minutes. During Yin, peasants and coiffeurs gather 10% faster, and during Yang, human soldiers and siege weapons do more damage. So there's gonna be the cycle of defending and attacking when you're playing as Fuxi, I'm guessing. But because the bonus is so small, with just 10%, you're not forced to do that, it's just beneficial to do that. On favored land, buildings research 300% faster, and military camp machine workshop additions cost minus 50%. Yeah, I'm not sure what these additions mean. I'm guessing it has to do something with access to different units. We'll see. But 300% faster research is nuts. So basically you have to put your researching buildings on favored land, close to your base. Gains access to Neja in the classical age, an additional legendary hero that gets stronger each age. Super cool. Super cool to get one early. And to have two in general, that's kind of stand out, right? Nuwa is the primary Chinese goddess, known for molding humans by hand from yellow clay. This achievement earned her the title of Great Mother of Humans. Focus are peasants, coiffeurs, and defense. God power is creation. Target a location to create a number of clay presents that last for a couple of minutes. Spawns more peasants in later ages. Oh, that's actually a really cool touch. It's not done before in any way, so it's totally unique. And it's probably better than recreation in the original game. Because if you can just keep doing it, then you know, it's like a really nice boost to your economy. You're not required to risk and lose villagers. But it's also more fair, because if you're super defensive, then if you don't lose villagers, then recreation was just a little insane, punishing raiders more than anything. God Blessing is the creator's auspice. Nuwa reduces peasant cost and improves building hit points as you earn favor. Wait. So if you stockpile more favor, you get better stuff? That's interesting. I'd rather spend my favor though in Age of Mythology. I don't know. That will require some elaboration, I think. Alright, favored land. Foundations automatically construct. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna have a little situation like with the Asgardian fortress. Buildings spread favored land +1 range further. That doesn't sound like much. Cavalry get 10% more hit points. I'm not sure what that has to do with defense, but I mean, a hit point bonus never hurts. It's just, I think if you want to be a defensive focused civ, you're rather going to want that on your infantry, no? Anyways, moving on to Shenong. Shenong is also known as the Divine Farmer or the Divine Husbandman. He taught humans agriculture, invented agricultural tools, discovered the uses of medicinal herbs and tea, and contributed to the domestication of plants and animals. Focus is farming, myth units, and healing. The god power is prosperous seeds. Target 2 farms to sow the seeds of prosperity. They will produce food faster, heal nearby villagers, and make friendly units on them invisible. You're not going to be able to use your Archaic Age god power then until the Classical Age? Nah, farms are available in the Archaic Age. We're fine, we're fine. So that's still a really big resource commitment, however, so I'm not entirely sure. But plow, irrigation, and flood control are researched instantly, so it might make sense. The math might work out for this one. It might be okay to just plop down your 2 farms and immediately use your god power and then go and gather some other resources because they produce food faster with plow already done. Wait, no, plow is still Classical Age because it's their respective age. They didn't move it. Okay, then I'm not sure the math works out, but I'm sure the devs have got this. It should work out. Because that will totally feel different to play if you can just plop it down and use this. God Blessing, Gift of Beasts. Shenong summons myth units from the next age at your temple for free as you earn favor. Wait. So it randomly generates you myth units at your temple if you hold favor? Or is there like some secondary pool? Like, Nuva has a as you earn favor mechanic too, and I'm not sure what it means, so yeah, I guess we'll see. And on favored land, myth units recover 5 hit points per second, holy crap! That's a lot of regeneration, okay. But we'll see how strong the Chinese myth units are, but that's cool. That's really different as well. And we've got a minor god spotlight as well, of course. There's gonna be at least 9, hopefully. And I'm really hoping actually that some of the Chinese gods will have a completely unique god in at least some of the ages. And there's definitely space, you know, in these new DLCs to make it a Classical Age god, for example, that has never happened before. All the completely unique minor gods are in the Mythic Age in the original games, so yeah, let's see. Okay, Chiyu has got, he's the god of chaos and war. He's got a focus on military and looting, and his myth unit is the Yazi. Lightning weapons, god power. Target a location to conduct lightning into the weapons of all your human soldiers and ships, giving their attacks a chance to stun enemies. That's cool. Stuns are awkward in RTS games, especially in a scenario where it's not requiring specialists. So if your human soldiers can stun, then it's gonna be very difficult to run away from this thing, and you're probably just gonna get owned. And it's a chance, so you know, the agency is definitely sounding low there. I'm not sure I love this. I kind of wish like it would build up a shock meter or something and then just do some damage. That might be better. So it requires several hits and then the burst. Stuns are, yeah, I'd rather keep that for like myth unit abilities and something like that. Rusho, god of golden autumn, focus on infantry and trade. Myth unit. It would be nice to say what age this is for, by the way. God power, Fey beasts. Target a location to spawn poisonous Fey beasts that spread infection to enemies. Interesting. Similar to ancestors, but with poison. Then we got Zhurong, who's the god of fire and summer. It's focusing on myth units and farming. This myth unit is the Zhuke. Sorry, the pronunciation has to be completely off, by the way. I do apologize to Chinese viewers. God power is the blazing prairie. Target a location to open the heavens and set the world on fire. Everything will burn. Yes. Yes, sounds good to me. That's got to be a mythic power. Alright, we've got myth unit spotlights as well. We've got the Shilin, who's a mythical creature with a body resembling that of a horse with a horn on its head. Said that in its appearance heralds a golden age or the arrival of a sage, making it a symbol of good fortune in China. Although the Shilin's description may resemble that of unicorns in other mythologies, the giraffes from Africa presented to Chinese emperors were referred to as Shilin. In fact, in Japanese, both giraffes and Shilin are still called Kirin to this day. Heals nearby units. That's got to be the green aura. Good against human soldiers and other myth units. And it's spewing fire. It's cool. Love it. I wonder if it's fast. Like, can you raid with this? Does it do line AoE? That could be really cool. Or is that the special ability with the fire? And maybe it just bonks people. We got the Bayu, who's a white tiger beast, representing the direction of the west and the autumn season in ancient Chinese mythology. Bayu also symbolizes loyalty and righteousness. He is known as a god of war who oversees weapons and battles. In legends, Bayu often appears as a bringer of justice, punishing evil and promoting goodness and order. Against some myth units flying with powerful strikes. Oh, not myth units, normal units flying with powerful strikes. Good against human soldiers. So it doesn't sound like the white tiger in Tail of the Dragon, but obviously it is, you know, a white tiger. However, it's reworked. Probably won't be jumping, and instead just rely on this strike special ability. Got the Tauti, one of the 4 perils, or 4 great malevolent beasts in Chinese legend. Tauti has an appearance similar to that of a sheep and symbolizes unending greed. Tauti's insatiable appetite makes it a symbol of war and slaughter. Gains extra strength as it devours human soldiers with its special ability. Good against humans. That's really cool that it can eat humans. I wonder if it also heals itself as it eats. But, you know, just getting stronger is already something. Wonder if it's fast enough to raid, or whether it's just some tank in the middle of the battle. We've got some human unit spotlights as well. Got the Chukanu. Was known for its simple design, incredible rate of fire. It held a magazine of roughly 10 bolts, which it shot in succession, and was operated by grasping the stock in the left hand and working the lever with the right. In that swift movement, a bolt would drop into place, the string would be drawn, and then the bolt would be fired, with another bolt dropping to take its place. The weapon was specifically designed to fire rapidly into groups of enemy troops at relatively close range, and did not have the power to be effective over longer distances. The Chukunu first attested in the 4th century BCE when it was used in combat during the Warring States period. However, legend holds that it was invented by the renowned ancient Chinese military strategist Zhuge Liang. Versatile Chinese crossbowman with a rapid fire attack. Then we've got the Dao Swordsman. The Chinese Dao Swordsman is an inexpensive, fast-training unit whose armor makes it thrive in combined arms forces. Historically, these infantrymen were predominantly conscripted soldiers between the ages of 23 and 56. Chinese armies were famous for their size. Commanders could swiftly mobilize and logistically support vast numbers of men to carry out military campaigns. On one occasion, Wang Mang levied 300,000 men to suppress a rebellion against his new regime in 9 CE, and the Chinese also deployed several 100,000 infantrymen alongside 50,000 cavalrymen against the Shengnu in 119 BCE. Slow but durable Chinese infantry, decent versus everything. And we've got the Tiger Cavalry, sometimes also called Tiger Leopard Cavalry, were the most formidable cavalry unit during the Three Kingdoms period in China. and the years of strife leading up to it. This unit was established by the powerful warlord Cao Cao, whose son would later go on to establish the Wei Kingdom. Cao Cao selected the best warriors from his family and his most loyal subordinates to form this elite unit. The Tiger Cavalry served not only as bodyguards and shock troops in battle, but also as special forces for long-range raids. When required, these troops could dismount and operate as elite infantry, particularly in roles such as bodyguards during siege warfare. Elite, heavily armored cavalry who dismounts and fights on when felled, good against cavalry and ranged soldiers. That's really cool. I love that. I love that you can get a second use out of them that's never been done in AOM before. And we know it works well in H2, for example, so this should be super fun to use, and they're really beautiful with their full armor. And lastly, we've got the Wander. It's just like the others. It's looking really nice. Love it. I think that's all. That's all they've got. Now, there is more news, however, than just Immortal Pillars. I'm really looking forward to playing it nonetheless, and definitely will be live streaming on the release day, maybe several days. Let's see how that goes. Other than this, we are doing that. PlayStation 5 for Age of Mythology. This is insane. Okay, it's not just Age of Mythology, by the way, it's AoE 2 Definitive Edition as well. Surprisingly not Age of Empires 4, but maybe that's coming later. Let's see how they go about that. But basically, the more players, the more platforms that Age of Mythology is on, the better. This seems to be a bigger push around Microsoft. They have been there have been some soft leaks about this happening to like the Halo Master Chief Collection as well, and I'm sure that many of their big IPs will be eventually making their way to PS5 as they're becoming sort of platform agnostic over time. This is fantastic news, ladies and gentlemen. We've got crossplay, of course, and you'll be able to get this already on February 27th with the early access deal. It's the same as what we've had on PC with the premium edition. It's happening the same way to AoE 2, and then AoE 4 is getting 2 more DLCs as well. And then there is some stuff about Age of Empires online, mobile. if it was online, I'd be happy. I'm not talking about AoE mobile. What I really want to talk about is that we can be maybe a little bit happy about that this didn't get cancelled, right? It's already seemingly extremely late. The last time we've had a trailer, it was so long ago, so it's a little worrying that it's taking so long, but here it is, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get the next one as well. They promised 2 DLCs, and despite the cancellation of the Age of Empires 3 DLC with Danes and Poles, I believe, I don't think we have much to worry about. Now, we do have a very bad overall player count. Let me bring up that chart. Okay, here's the chart. Taking a look at this, we can see that there's a very obvious decline over time with the 3,000, 4,000 players, depending on what day you're looking at, with peaks approaching that 5k mark and sometimes going above it. Still, but Age of Mythology always has had a more casual player base that more interacts with single player and skirmish versus AI. And you play through that a bunch of times and it's no longer that hot, right? You move on to the next game typically as a player like that. So I think the multiplayer folk that are typically around my channel will be definitely feeling this as the casuals are leaving. I think there's many things that Age of Mythology devs could do about this, like for example making sure that releases are a little bit more frequent. Now, waiting until March from November is, I think, actually really reasonable. It's not a very bad release cadence considering that there was a winter break in the middle of that. Now, obviously, if they can, they would shorten that to like 3 months instead of 4+, but yeah, that's hard to do when you have to develop an entire civ and an entire campaign. Obviously, they would have backloaded that so that they started way before the release on the development. But hopefully for the next one, we can get it within 3 or 4 months again and not have this giant gap for content. New content for RTS games is so essential to keep the player numbers up, and you can take a look at the other Age of Game charts, and it will really reflect that whenever there's a piece of new content, people hop on, they play, and then they over time fizzle out. But I'm pretty confident that this is still solid enough overall compared to the other games that it will warrant the promised releases. But if we drop back to this number again after the DLCs, I'm not seeing us getting any further DLCs whatsoever. Even with PlayStation, even with Xbox, even with Game Pass, I think this is weak sauce. So we don't know the overall sales numbers, of course. It's not bad looking at these estimates of up to 1.55 million. But, you know, the player count is, that's definitely felt. We can take a look at something else. So yeah, it's definitely felt. We can take a look here at aomstats.io, and we can see that the number of matches being played is actually drastically dropping, especially the unique players engaging in ranked multiplayer is getting extremely low at that 2,000 mark, between 2,000 and 3,000. And at the peak, this used to be 8,000. So when you cut the player number by 70+%, that's gonna be felt, definitely. I've also got an announcement of my own. We are doing another season of tournaments over at MetaPlace, and this time around we'll be covering some alternative game modes like Deathmatch and Lightning. And the second Deathmatch tournament actually is happening after the release of the Chinese DLC, and it will feature a 1,000 pound sterling prize pool. So really looking forward to that. Hope you guys join. Every other tournament is for £100. People can contribute to further if they wish. We're also featuring the Lightning mode, which hasn't had any meaningful tournaments, I think, ever, and certainly not this many in a row. So I'll be linking this article as well, and it's free for anyone to participate, of course. So please check it out. All right, that's all I've got for now. I'll be back soon with a live stream. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.